Hello, aloha, aloha. We are going live tonight. I hope some people come in, but I am going to start. And the topic tonight is if you naturally attract attention, you need to be extra careful, regardless of how genuine and kind you are, because you are viewed as a threat. People are not going to like it if you are kind and genuine and people attract attention. You attract attention and you steal the show because it's just too much for people to handle and they hate it. And not everybody is like this, but you do need to be extra careful because I'm not sure why, but it's a powerful energy and you will come in with oomph and you won't mean to do it. It'll just be how you naturally are, but people will get pissed off about it. Even if you do your job correctly, even if you're doing a ton of things and you're making everything go smoothly and the clients will flock to you, you have to be extra careful. I can tell you that my next job, I won't be trying to bond with people. I won't be offering information. I won't be trusting them, even though we are going to lunch together and going for walks together and sharing with each other. It doesn't matter because it's okay for a while and they think you're great for a while. But then all of a sudden, something will happen, like you'll get fired without even any write-ups after an amazing review. And so it feels like a betrayal, but it's really not because you obviously gave up too much information and that's how to work. And people just don't like it. People don't like it. And I'm not sure why. I like to bond and chat with people and get to know people, but not everybody does. And this has happened to me in a couple of situations where bosses were talking bad about clients and maybe I didn't like go along with it. Like I know I had one boss who was making fun of one of my clients saying she looked like a witch. That was at one of my first jobs and we were like going in her car to go get her daughter's clarinet. And I was like, that's kind of mean. Like she's my client, and I thought it was inappropriate and I said something. Well, after that, and a few other things happened too, but I ended up getting fired and they said I wasn't the right fit, even though I was promoted and running the whole outpatient program. So that was the first one. Another one, I had a review that was bad from my supervisor who would call in all the time. And, I forgave her and stuff, but I was like excited about my review, waiting to get my raise, and then it was like super bad. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't take it seriously because I knew who she was. And it was just kind of the weird work situation that I was in. And then the bosses came, like the owners, and were like, Angie, we don't think that about you. Are you okay? That was the worst review. We know you're not that person. And so, that wasn't so bad, but it's just like, I feel like the more genuine and authentic you are, and when you naturally attract attention because you're just potent and you talk with people and you're not shy, um, it's sad because, oh my gosh, there's one person in here. Hey, thank you. Hey, hello. And so it's just really sad because, you know, it could be used for good, but it's not. It's seen as a threat. You're seen as a threat because you're potent and because you are just being yourself. You'll be viewed as a threat. If your vibe is high, you need to be extra careful. So I know that in jobs to come, I won't be quite as trusting. I'm kind of have that little girl mentality where I trust people. I trust people until you show me I can't trust you. And even when you do that, I sometimes give you the benefit of the doubt, which is not what I'm trying to practice doing anymore. So definitely beware of that. If you naturally attract attention, I don't want to say like don't be yourself, but I would say don't divulge as much information. Keep it private until you build trust with somebody and until maybe like 2 years has passed. 2 years. Then maybe you can start being your true self and telling them some information about you, because the more they hear, the more they maybe feel inadequate. Or I mean, I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that too. That's how I've always done things. If I heard somebody did something or made an accomplishment, I'd be like, that's a great idea, I'm going to do that too. Or I'm going to look into that. It's a new neural pathway that just opened up because you showed me something. And it's not like a negative one, it's like a positive one. So everybody's brains work in different ways, and I'm not sure why, but um you need to be extra careful. You just need to be really extra careful if you are a person who naturally attracts attention, and like you're laughing with clients, or they're opening up to you really easily, or you're able to write really well, and you can just do those things very well. So yeah, that is my story on, being authentic and genuine, and vibing high is not always seen as a plus from people, which is sad, but that is the world we live in. We live in a cancel culture where if somebody doesn't like something, or if somebody gets jealous of something, they will cancel you. And so I just think it's important to keep some things to yourself. You don't have to vibe low. Um, Also, what sucks about jobs is if you if somebody does something wrong, you don't want to say anything about it. I am a truth teller. So like when the one lady, one of my bosses who told me that my client looked sort of like a witch, and I was like, that's not nice. That's my client. You tell me what you would do in that situation. I mean, that's how I felt, so that's what I said. So, maybe it's good. Maybe you're just supposed to get kind of pushed out of places that you don't really belong if you're a high viber, and you know, people are vibing low around you and like talking about people. Right away that kind of grosses me out and shows me what a low vibe you are, because it's like, I mean, it's different if you're like telling a story and it's not like a mean thing, but if it's like you're being mean to somebody about the way they look or the way they dress or something like that, I never like that. I don't like that. I mean, even if you notice it, you don't have to say anything mean about it, especially if you're a boss. You should definitely not be doing those things. And there's a lot of bosses who shouldn't be bosses because they're more like little girls in a mean way, like little mean girls. So, anyway, I say be very careful, be extra, extra careful if you attract attention naturally. If you're a leader and you're not the leader, be very careful, because people will be intimidated by it. People will feel uneasy about it. Their insecurities might start coming out, and then lo and behold, one day they'll just be sick of it, and you'll get fired because of maybe they had a bad day, or maybe they got in a fight with their husband, or maybe their life isn't the way they want it, and your joy sparks something in them that makes them angry, even if you didn't do anything wrong, even if you did your job well. It happens. It happens all the time. So if it happens, move on. You are not supposed to take it personally at all, because you're just supposed to be moved out of there. These things are going to happen. These are normal, everyday things that happen. Same thing in relationships. If you have a girlfriend who is not vibing the way you are, you're not going to want to hang out with that person. And, birds of a feather flock together. So if that's how the rest of the company was, if, I had one of my coworkers, well, I was with another coworker that I supposedly trusted, but I definitely don't trust her at all anymore, and I can see how she was and what she was doing. Um, she literally went in my office and took my headphones, and I was so confused because I plugged them into my computer because I would walk after work with them. And I thought, oh my gosh, where are they? And then I came back the next morning and they were there. And like, I wondered why she was giggling with another coworker and running back to my office and back and forth. So this is like mean girl stuff. And I was always nice to everybody. I would get looks when I would come in dressed up. I remember one of the coworkers was just staring at my boots, and then the boss had to be like, "What? They're cute." And it was just like, "Yeah, they're cute. Are you kidding?" And you could just see her snare looking at me, like, "Why is she wearing those?" And it was just like anything different. And it's just really sad. But you know what? When you're meant to be pushed out of a place, go gracefully, because you're better off away from that. And you weren't supposed to be there. God put you there for a short time, and you were supposed to maybe show those people something, and that's okay. That's just the way it is. So be careful. Keep your guards up. Don't trust everybody if they're trying to get information out of you and they're not giving you any information. That's a red flag. And also notice microaggressions. Notice if they're trying to come and interrupt you if you're talking with a client in just weird instances, like to come and disrupt you or to come in right away when you get there in the morning, like before you even put your purse down, for them asking you something when they could wait 5 minutes, or just weird little things like that, things that you're like, that's a weird timing. Notice those things, because those are going to be your little inklings of what's brewing, which is something that's not good. Body language really does tell it all. And when you don't notice or when you don't take into account the body language that they just showed you, people's bodies cannot hide. They can hide, they can lie, but their body language cannot hide. They'll be doing something that's a little off, that isn't like their baseline, how they normally act, and you'll catch it. And so at least you'll know. I say God shows you all these things beforehand, and it's really sad, but everything happens for a reason. And weapons will form, but they shall not prosper. And they will form, and they always will form. But if you are having enemy attacks, this is only going to propel you forward in your life. So you can be happy for the attacks, because initially it's like 2 steps back, 10 steps forward, which is really cool. So I'm here to encourage you to keep doing your best, keep being your best self, shine brightly, but maybe don't divulge as much information, and kind of keep to yourself. Stick with you and the clients if you have clients you're working with, unless you can really trust one of your coworkers. Because sometimes you can trust a coworker, but there'll be other people that you can't trust. Like I had one coworker that I trusted, and I think this was way back, but I had one coworker that I really trusted and I loved her. And but the boss wanted to be her best friend, and we kind of clicked right away, and we're friends all the time, and we hung out with each other and stuff. And that friendship ended up having to be done because she kept telling me about the drama that was going on there. And we just kind of separated, because it was like she didn't want to stick up for me or even be my friend on Facebook, which I thought was really weird because of them. And then she was like telling me about drama that was going on there. So anyway, that's that. I'm not going to talk too much about it in case she's watching or they're watching, because I'm sure they are actually. But I am who I am, and I shine. And you're just not supposed to be friends with everybody. You're not supposed to be sometimes you're only there for a short time, and that's all you need to be there for. And then you're moving on up and out, and usually you'll get a pay raise when you leave. I've gotten numerous pay raises. Some people stay in the same jobs forever, and they have to do their little increments of pay. But when you leave, and you're out for a few months and then you get a job, the pay goes way up. So I have learned that and been blessed in that way, which is pretty cool. It's kind of it's like I got the raise that you would have taken forever to get, and I got it in like 3 months, or 6 months or whatever it is till you get the job you want. So anyway, I love you. Thanks for watching. Be very careful with these instances because, people are trying to stick a knife in your back usually if you're authentic and genuine and attractive and attract attention. Even if you're not trying, even if you're genuine, even if you're really kind, even if you give them presents for Boss Day, even if you bring cake and ice cream and homemade salsa or anything like that, doesn't matter. Homemade candies, doesn't matter. There's no loyalty. You have to be very careful if you are an attractive soul, unfortunately, if there's no loyalty between you guys. A lot of these companies have clicks, so it's best to get clicked right out of there and find a different click who's more your style, more your vibe. All right, I love you. God bless you. Weapons will form, but they shall not prosper. Your enemies will become your footstools, and have a great night. I will see you soon. Thank you for the couple of you who joined in, and hopefully people can watch us later. All right, bye-bye.